Prophecy about to come true. Ain't that right, Daredevil? Even Daredevil can see what's about to happen. That PlayStation 5 Pro, let it go, baby. Let's let it do what it's supposed to do. And then you got CEOs out here, got double talk running out of their mouths, left and right, old and new. And it's kind of crazy when you look at the positions that some of them are in right now. It's absolutely nuts. But we're going to get into these topics because I think dudes are a little bit tender. Pause on what I need to say. Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy the King and my boy Daredevil. That's XM Studios Daredevil. Something dope. A little something. Hey man, check that out. Been a fan, huge fan of Frank Miller my whole life. And what's crazy, Neil Druckmann is a huge fan. You know, the guy that y'all like, Neil, my buddy, is a huge fan of Frank Miller. Some of Frank Miller's best work was on Daredevil. Also John Romita Jr., you know, but that was the resurgence of Daredevil. Crazy stuff. I cannot wait to talk about this statue for the members. Yo, members, this week I'm going to PAX, and everything that y'all want is going to be inside our members. All the interviews. I'm going to drop at least 50 interviews of all the influencers that you want to hear from, you want to see, you want to know what's going on, content creators. Everything is going to go in there. So if you're a member, you have direct access to all of these interviews. I'm talking about some of your favorite people is going to be there, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to ask those questions. So if you have any questions that you want me to ask, leave a comment and I'll definitely talk to them. All right. So if they're there, you know they're going, I'm going to have that conversation with them. But yo, let's talk about your boy Jim Ryan. And I know I used to call him Dance Moves Jim Ryan, because the reason why I call him Dance Moves because he dances in and out of the situation so crazy. If you get a chance to see him, he's like Fred Astaire. For you young dudes, he's like Chris Brown. All right, he gets sturdy with it like Kai Cenat. I'm telling you exactly who he is. The way he dips and dodges and dances and answers questions. So it was he had an interview that was not too long ago, and he's talked about how he was so happy that he can make a deal with Xbox on Call of Duty, staying on the PlayStation platform. Like there was any doubt, you meatball. Like you pay the most. Why the hell would they cut off PlayStation revenue? Hell no, you gonna pay like you weigh, Bertha. We're going to get all that cash. Do you understand? Why the hell will we take PlayStation off of them? To do what? Nah, buddy. You going to pay like you weigh. Drop that mobile app with Call of Duty Warzone over there. Yes, on the 21st. Remember, we giving away coins for that. Call of Duty coins. You know what it is. Yeah. The coins is lit. Members only. Step your game up. Nah, I love how you support. Doesn't even matter, man. But members get special perks, and you know how that goes. But your boy Jim acting like Microsoft wanted to keep that from him. Nah, that ain't even the case. It's disingenuous. I don't like disingenuous people. So, you know, a lot of dudes like to call him Lion, Flying, Jim Ryan. Dance moves, baby. He got the moves, but he don't have the gift for gab. If you heard him talking in the interview, you can hear how he flubs and partner. I get it. You understand? You're not eloquent. That's why they didn't put you on the stand. If they put Jim on the stand with how he talks, they'd have definitely lost the case right then and there. That would have been it right then and there, because they would have told you oh, he lying definitely, because you saw it. But on to former CEO Sean Layden. Shout out to Jay Barry and the team for getting that interview. It was dope. But a little inconsistencies with Sean Layden. And to be honest with you, I thought Sean Layden was probably one of the best CEOs PlayStation had. He was the last remnants. You know, Jack Tretton and them was the last remnants of what the Sony I came to love, Yoshida and all those dudes. And this is the reason why I'm on, you know, the hashtag no PlayStation 6. I want Kong to die, because these dudes ain't the same dudes. You know, snitching and ratting ain't they thing. You understand? They're the dudes that show you, oh, this is how you trade a game. You know, the bite back dudes, like the dudes that we gonna fight, we gonna get in the mud. And if you listen to Jack Tretton and his interview, he tells it like it is. He said, you know, how they had to gain share is they had to, you know, lock things down exclusively and do all this other stuff. But also under Jack Tretton, they did some of the most consolidating as far as studios go and buying it. His last big deal was Insomniac. So we know exactly who he is, what he is, and what he's about. But when Microsoft starts to pull out that bankroll, oh no, now consolidation is bad for business. But aren't you the lead consultant or the president or whatever you are over there for Tencent? Aren't you the guy that is ahead of the company that has probably the most acquisitions or have the most money spread out through all developers all across the world? It's you and Embracer Group. Microsoft is a peon compared to exactly what y'all doing. Now, financially, that's a whole different ball game, but we talking about consolidation in the medium that we talking about. So that's another level of disingenuousness. And I know dudes is going to be like, yo, King, man, how come you don't hold Phil to the same standards? Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, has that title because of what he did for Xbox, and he brought them back and they made them relevant. Right now, they make more money than Windows. Who did that for you? Shout out to Phil. You cannot say Sony, PlayStation outsold everything that's in Sony, movies and all that. You can't say that, all right? At the moment, right now, they're not profitable. Sony itself is not profitable. You got to really understand exactly, and I'm talking about Sony as a whole. Their movies is losing money. You know, Madam Web, Morbius, all these movies is losing money. Their TV division isn't the number one televisions in the world. You know, their laptops, need I say more? Only bug they got running in these streets is Spider-Man. You understand me? And that deal with Marvel is a sweetheart deal. So they get money hand over fist, but now you got the PlayStation, and the PlayStation's not profitable, and they trying to make money here and there. And they trying to make sure the shareholders don't leave. They're cutting prices right now in Japan. They're cutting prices in Europe on the PlayStation console. They're cutting prices out. The problem with the PlayStation brand itself is they're in a dire hole, and Kong will die. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know why we do it over here. Y'all gonna get this work. That PlayStation is a dub, bro. It's over. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching you dudes, and I'm trying to explain. Y'all going through, you know, the 5 stages of denial. That's what they call it. You know, or acceptance or whatever, grief and all that other stuff. And then soon you're gonna accept it. Because remember, your games wasn't going over the PC. Well, that lie detected, that was a lie. Now, you're closing down studios and you're laying people off. I thought they was making money. The lie detected, that was a lie. I thought them selling all these millions of consoles made sure that they were profitable and they was able to fund all their games. The lie detected, that was a lie. How many times do they gotta lie to you before you wake up and you see it? They're closing down studios. The console's not profitable. You sold, so you say. but we know it's not that way. X amount of consoles. Buddy, no you didn't. That's a lie. It's a falsity. It's a falsehood. It's not true. But again, you're not profitable. You're not selling software. Your software is not doing exactly what it's supposed to do. You're making bad business decisions. Hand over fist. You just keep on doing it. You just keep on doing bad business decisions. And it's not helping you out none. This is the reason why I say Con gonna die. Y'all want to know why I say it's not going to be a PlayStation 6. And you're trying to figure it out. I told you part of the prophecy is that PlayStation 5 Pro. I told you part of that prophecy is the PlayStation 5 Pro gotta come out. Now, everybody see these spec leaks, you know, from Moore's Law's Dead and Rage Tech or whoever, and all these dudes is talking. Then you got Tom Warren talking about, yeah, this stuff is true. I heard a rumor that, yeah, it's true. Nah, I know you're saying, you're king, man, that's 67 teraflops, B. Nah, I can't stand on that. Okay, those are 16-bit compute units. They're not talking about how you measure the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. The Series X has 12 teraflops of 32-bit compute units. And the PlayStation 5 has like, 9? And then they overclocked it. That unstable box. That's the reason why Mark Cerny says, you know, you can leverage the power and the speed and all this other stuff. All that crap that he was selling you. And while Microsoft made a stable box, you know, 12 teraflops, and PlayStation made an unstable box, 9 point something, and they overclocked it. Now, the PlayStation 5 Pro with that AI chip, and I think the AI chip is being provided by AMD. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, a lot of people is trying to say that Sony themselves is making it. I think they made it in conjunction with AMD. But these are first generation upscaler chips. They're not the true AI chips that you'll see in the next Xbox and, you know, going all across the world in GPUs. They're not the next generation AI chips that NVIDIA is working on. It's not like that. This AI chip that they're working on, allegedly, is just an upscaler chip. All right, so what they're able to do is they're able to put out at a lower resolution and get a higher resolution output through the AI unit that's on deck. That allows the machine to trick the eye, to trick the machine into believing that it's at a higher resolution package when it's not. And that affords it the ability to run at a better speed, frames per second. So a lot of those games that you saw that came out that ran at variable different speeds, like 40 frames per second, or that was unlocked, that would take advantage of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Honestly, I think this is the box that they always wanted to make, and none of those other boxes was it. Now, I'm going to keep my Big Bertha. Big Bertha is going to stay with me because I got the skin that I wanted on it. So it's going to stay there. And, you know, more than likely my son will get it when I get the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I believe that's the last console. Now, I'm talking to Cognito. And he's like, well, you know, what about the handheld? I said, oh, yeah, the handheld is going to be their like go-to. You see how like the ROG is? And like you can dock it. And you can buy different like GPUs or whatever like to put with it. I believe both Xbox and both Xbox and PlayStation is going to do the same exact thing. I think the Nintendo Switch showed them they can be viable in the marketplace without overspending. They can be viable in the marketplace and still be profitable. I think the Switch has shown the way, put a light above them and shown them the way in order to become exactly profitable, right? So me personally, hashtag no PlayStation 6, Con will die, you port begging ponies. I understand exactly where y'all at. You know, y'all don't got no games this year. Next fiscal period is going to look even worse than the last fiscal period. You lost $10 billion. I expect y'all to lose more than $10 billion coming up. I expect more layoffs, not wanting more layoffs, but I expect more layoffs. Actually, I expect more layoffs throughout the industry as a whole, not just Sony themselves. Understand, I take glee in the ponies feeling the pain. Because at the end of the day, my greatest game is The Last of Us Part 2. And dudes will never understand why, because half of y'all hate it for some weird reason. You dudes is weird. But me personally, I love the game. And I picked up the remaster, and I'm in the middle of, having fun doing that. But I see where their fatal flaw is. Exclusives are the Achilles heel of the PlayStation brand. And they have to get out of there. Day and date on a PC. Start putting your games on competing platforms in order to make revenue. And I know you dudes are saying, especially my man, Mr. Kent, that's going to leave a comment at this video. I know you're saying, King, it never happened. You did a lot of nevers. Like the PlayStation 5 was supposed to believe in generations until it didn't. Oh, the PlayStation ecosystem was sustainable until it wasn't. Jim Ryan was going to continue to rule. The ABK deal was going to get blocked until Hold the Line stopped that. You going to understand. Now it's time for you to hold the line. Go out there and buy that PlayStation 5. Make sure you buy games with it, because that's the problem with you dudes. The attach rates to your console is 0, bro. You have a negative attach rate to your console. I don't even know how you do that. And what is it launching with? Bro, the PC is getting more exclusives this year from Sony than you guys. When are you going to turn around and start looking and saying, man, something's wrong with Sony? But this is the part of the prophecy that I call for. I want the Pro to come out. I'm going to buy it because it's the last console you going to drop. Well, till you get the handheld. But it is what it is. But this is the part in the video when I'm going to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it right at you at the camera to let you know we'll be at PAX East. While a lot of your favorite content creators that talk stuff online is sitting at home waiting for news to hit them, we're going to go get that news and we're going to go bring it back to you. Shout out to my team at ILP. Shout out to the team at LogNet. That's Iron Lords Podcast, and that's lordsofgaming.net. And this is Xbox Frontline News. Well, I tell you all the time, try to play the Game Pass.